Welcome to the Garden Report on Ice. I am your host, Evan Marinofsky, alongside CLNS Bruins insider Jimmy Murphy. But first, I got to give you a little pitch here. 1-100.co. It's the best place for tickets. Go.
And that's C-O, by
That's
the way.
C-O.
Not K-O.
Yeah, and it's for Celtics games, Bruins games, Red Sox games. It's the absolute best. Go there now. That's 1-100.co.
Yeah, and they sent our owner at CLNS, Nick Gelso. He won the raffle. He ended up front row at Game 1 of the ALCS. Never been to Fenway in his life, and that was his first time at Fenway. So they make dreams come true on 1-100.
Unbelievable. Go to them now. But at any rate, Murph, you blew up hockey Twitter last night with some news. What was the news?
Yeah, I tend to do that, but not for the right reasons sometimes. But it's not really new. It's news. You know, the Bruins are looking around right now. They're trying to figure out how to add to this team and give them a team that can go on a deep run in the playoffs right now. And I had some sources telling me that they were in some deep talks with St. Louis. They'd kind of gone to them last month when Doug Armstrong let it be known he's open for business. And, you know, we heard a lot about Tarasenko. And, of course, you have to imagine they inquired about him. But that's probably going to cost a lot. So I think the Bruins kind of reevaluate and look at it and say, you know, Brayden Schenn's a guy that could fit here well. He's versatile. He can play the center, the wing. You can put him in at the third line center slot. You put him on the wing on a second line where we know the Bruins are trying to fill a slot there. So he's cheaper than Tarasenko would be for sure, both at his cap hit and what he would cost in a trade. And it appears they're really deep in some talks. I'm not saying that he's going to end up a Bruin. I just know that right now the Bruins are one of the teams that are in serious pursuit of Brayden Schenn, and you can put the Vegas Golden Knights and the Pittsburgh Penguins in there as well.
What exactly would it take to get Brayden Schenn on the Boston Bruins?
I mean, from what I'm told, you're looking at 2 young roster players and a draft pick. Now, a lot of people out there right now are saying that the St. Louis Blues are going to run a first-round pick in there because they believe they paid 2 first-round picks to get him from Philly, so they're going to want at least a first-round back. The Bruins aren't going to do that right now if they don't have to. I mean, maybe if it was a Tarasenko or a Temi Panarin, then yeah, you definitely go for a first-round pick there, but they think that they can pull this off with a second-round pick and maybe 2 young roster players. I don't know what players those are, but if I'm thinking off the top of my head of players that make sense, I mean, guys like a Matt Grzelcyk, I know fans aren't going to like that. He's a guy that comes to mind. He's got a beautiful cap hit. He's got a promising future. He's already got some NHL experience on the blue line there. And then maybe a guy that, you know, for some reason, whatever, he's hit a wall here, but he's got a bright future, would be Danton Heinen. Those are 2 guys that I could see in a deal like that. I'm not saying I know those are the guys that have been offered. All I'm saying is that's something that might get the deal done.
It's speculation season, folks, and we love it.
And I think we got to look ahead, though. Let's not just look at the St. Louis Blues right now. You know, Mark Savard was on the Bruins beat with me last week, and he made an interesting point there. He says, what if Don Sweeney goes after Ilya Kovalchuk again? I mean, I wouldn't do it if I was him, but I mean, Savard made a point. He had interest in him before. He's probably going to be available right now with the way things are going for the Kings. He's been playing on the 4th line there. He's been a healthy scratch. He probably could be had, and maybe not for such a bad price, but then you're inheriting the contract he already signed there. So I don't necessarily see that happening, but it's not something I'd rule out. And I think you look around the league right now, you got to look at teams like the Kings, right? You got to look at St. Louis. And I'd look maybe at Arizona. There's some guys down there that they could have that maybe aren't working out, that are still young and need a change of scenery. So I'm sure Don Sweeney and Cam Neely are doing their due diligence right now, and they have been for a while. But I think Sweeney really wants to help this team make a drive for the Cup. I know that he's replenished the system and he's tried to build towards the future, but I think he realized, you know what, the window's closing here, and maybe I got to use some of those future chips to get a guy now that can come in and help us make a run. So we'll see what happens.
A lot of stuff to be had, and you can get that all at Bruins CLNS. For the Garden Report on Ice, that's Jimmy Murphy. I'm Evan Marinofsky. We'll see you next time.